So I'm in the middle of finishing an article on Substack about art versus validation versus fame. And I'm bringing up the question, how important is validation to us truly as artists, and how important should it be? As someone who, I don't have millions of people reading my shit or watching my performances or whatever. But I always come back to this idea that even if it's just a few people that's hearing me, then I should be grateful for that. And I should give my best effort every time I share my work. That doesn't mean I don't want to expand. That doesn't mean that I can't make improvements. But it's like I don't want to sell my artistic soul, as a creative just to appease a bunch of people. You know, it's tough. I feel like a lot of people who want to, censor what artists do don't understand that art has a transgressive nature to it, or it can, it goes against things. And even if it's a progressive form of art, it still challenges potentially everybody, everyone. And I know that artists can be more sensitive to certain things, but the thing that I hate or that I can't stand is there's this assumption that a lot of us as creatives are not already considering the potential of how our works will be received by other people, because it's a job. When I say it's a job, I mean the job of doing effective art is presenting something that's interesting enough that holds the standard, if you will, to get the type of reception or whatever the work is. So if it's poetry, I don't know, it should be poetic or thought provoking. If it's comedy, it's funny. If it's a literary essay, engaging, whatever, right? To execute that in an interesting way and not be offensive for offensive sake. But sometimes being offensive, I don't know. Sometimes I think people are offended by certain things because like it's a mirror toward them and their problems, their shit, their issues that they haven't worked out, Like, yes, I mean, you can listen to people, you can consider their feedback, and the good thing with stuff like comedy, live performance, you get a lot of immediate feedback. But I just feel that at the end of the day, if you tell, for example, 20 jokes and 19 of them the crowd loves, or let's say all but one person doesn't enjoy one of those fucking jokes. I mean, do you throw the joke out? I'm not saying you can't consider what the person criticism is. If you got time, you want to listen to it. But I'm saying, like, are you going to stop doing the thing because one person has some criticism on it, and overwhelmingly other people are all right with it, and you didn't feel or see anything that indicated that this was a problem, or this person clearly wasn't using good faith arguments, or was being completely reactionary. Like, are you responsible for that? How much are you responsible? Are you not going to do your live stream anymore and talk about a certain topic because somebody emailed you and told you that, hey, I got a problem with what you were talking about in the way that you said it? Are you just going to stop? Hell no, you're not going to do that. And you shouldn't have to do that. You can consider the arguments, but you don't have to just shut everything down. So, like you can't win. You can't win. This is going to go on forever. Because there's no perfection. No, it doesn't matter how good you are. There's always going to be some type of misunderstanding. But it's like, you have to ask yourself, am I not going to try something because of the potential of it being misunderstood? I'm like, well, what's the point of art? What's the point of the exploration of creativity? It's just, you might as well just stop now. So yeah, um, and Emily Dickinson, because I kind of went on a tangent there, you know, um, yeah, I completely went off track. I went completely off track, but I'll fucking correct it in the title. I'll try anyway. But getting back to this whole thing about validation, it's like, are you willing to stand up to those oppositions, those who say, hey, you shouldn't talk about this, or you shouldn't explore this? And it's like, the more honest you're trying to explore an idea, it seems the more lack of good faith you're presenting with. It's like people don't think you're good faith. They don't think you're coming from a good place. They assume that their assumptions are assumable. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, sorry about the side tangent, but it is what it is. It's what I was feeling at the moment. So I guess that's why I had to bring up that whole thing about people trying to suppress your attempts at doing a type of art that you want to do, which Emily Dickinson also dealt with. Um, she's famous for not being really published in a lifetime, even though she had like 10 poems that were published in a lifetime, which is more than I've had in my lifetime. And so, yeah, I just feel that it should be something in you that's pushing you to do it. And, whether it's 10 or 10 million people, you should just stay the course with your art, you know, because it's what you love to do. Rant over. Let me know what you think.